Very good morning, everyone. How are you all? Everyone fine? Last class we started AS 28. We completed AS 19. Any doubt in any accounting standard, whatever we completed? Bolo. AS 11. What is the doubt? Huh? Forward exchange contract. Yeah. The concept doubt. Doubt in concept. Now, I already said in that particular concept, forward exchange contract, see, actually that is a concept of final level. So I am not doing the detailed discussion of that particular topic, but because you have asked forward exchange contract, understood? Forward exchange contract, actually this is, before that we need to understand what is the meaning of forward contract. Forward contract, so forward contract is a contract which will be settled, which will be settled on future date, which will be settled on which date? Future date, correct? For example, try to understand. Suppose there is one person and other person, so of course can it in a contract, one will buyer, one will be seller, correct? So they will do one contract to buy some item. Item can be any item, correct? Now let us take one item, onion. Onion is also one item. Now what happened in this contract? Normally we enter to earn some speculative profit. Speculative profit means short term profit without making actual purchase or sale, without making any actual purchase or sale. Now this person has a expectation that price may increase. Price may increase. Means the price of onion may increase. Right now, suppose today is suppose 1st Jan 2023. Let us assume, and current market price is 1 kg rupees 50 per kg. Let us assume, but this person is thinking that price may increase, and this person is expecting that price may fall. Price may fall. Understand what I am saying? If both are expecting price will increase, so both are friend, na? Then this is not a contract. If both are expecting price may decrease, then also both are friend. So contract can be entered only if one person is expecting price will increase and other person is expecting price will decrease. That is based on their expectation. Means I may expect what? You may score more than 70. You are expecting that you may score more than 90. Correct? That is based on our expectations. Expectation can be different. Expectation can be different based on current circumstances and future forecasting. Future forecasting. Understood? Correct? आपको डिटेल में बता रहा हूँ. I am saying in detail. Okay? Now listen. Correct. So they entered into contract. Correct. They entered into contract today only. Today. They entered to buy suppose 1000 kg of onion at rupees what? 50 per kg only. But let us assume after 3 months. After 3 months. So today they have entered into contract to buy what? 1000 kg of, means this person has entered into contract to buy. So this person has entered to sell. One person will buy, so other person will sell. Correct? So they have made one contract today to buy 1000 kg of onion at rupees 50 based on their expectation, but after 3 months. Understood? Correct. Now what happened? Let us say after 3 months, what is the actual position? So on 31st March, suppose the market price of this onion becomes 60 per kg. 60 per kg. So who will dance? Who will dance? Suppose this is Mr. Ram, this is Mr. Ram, and suppose this is Miss Sita. You know Sita, correct? This is Sita. Now, okay, understood? Yes, sir. So what I am saying, who will dance and who will cry? Correct. So it means this become favorable to this party and unfavorable to this party. The situation become favorable and unfavorable. So it means if they want to purchase, okay, they can purchase onion at rupees by paying 50 only. By paying 50, or what Mr. Ram will say, give me the difference amount. Give me the difference amount now. Correct. So what is the difference? Difference 10 into 1000 kg. It means 10,000 become profit for whom? Profit for Mr. Ram and loss for Miss Sita. Understood? So this profit or loss will be recognized in respective books, irrespective of actual purchase and sale. Irrespective of actual purchase and sale, because the intention was to generate only short-term profit. There was no intention to buy onion. We may also buy onion also, but वो final में आगे पढ़ लेंगे. समझे? This much you understood? Correct? Now it can be reverse situation also. The price on 31st March may become what? 45 per kg. Now who will dance? Now it means Sita will sell at 50 only, even the price become what? And Ram need to pay how much? 50 only, even the price become what? So now it is favorable for whom? Unfavorable to whom? So case situation may change, circumstances may change depending upon the future market price. This much you understood? Correct. Now if the same transaction is done in foreign currency, we call it what? Forward exchange contract. The same thing is done in foreign currency. It is known as what? Forward exchange contract. Have you understood what I am saying? Have you understood? Correct. Are you able to understand? So now what happened? Suppose, just try to understand. Suppose you have an expected that right now $1 is equal to 80, and now your expectation is that what? Dollar rate will appreciate. Dollar rate will appreciate. But you will intend to buy contract or sell contract? You want to buy or into a sale? So whenever expectation are high, we intend to buy contract, because in future the price will increase. Correct. So right now only you will intend to buy contract. So suppose you intend to buy contract, to buy what? Dollar or rupees? Dollar na ki rupees? Dollar na? Rupees. Rupees also can be purchased, you know. Can we purchase rupees? Can we purchase rupees? Yes, we can purchase. Go to exchange market. You will give dollar and purchase what? Rupees na. Give dollar means, can I say, just try to understand one thing. Suppose I have a mobile of rupees 10,000. So I sold what? Mobile, and I receiving what? So it means I am buying what? Currency only na, rupees only na. Are bola, this is only na. So in every transaction we are actually either purchasing or selling cash, Indian currency. Yes or no? So if I am buying mobile, so I am selling what? Currency, Indian currency. So can I say, of course we can buy also what? Indian currency, but normally we think from what? Foreign currency point of view, because I am dealing with what? Forward exchange contract. So it means we need to buy foreign currency. So let us say dollar. Suppose you want to buy $10,000. $10,000. Correct. After how many months? 3 months. After 3 months. So from whom you will buy? From one seller. So this seller is what? One bank. That is known as what? That is known as what? Swap bank, exchange bank, swap bank, exchange bank, swap bank, exchange bank. So you went there. You said I want to buy $10,000 right now, but the settlement will be done after 3 months. At what price you want to sell? We'll do negotiation now. So negotiation what? So it was done at suppose 82. Detailed discussion. Detailed discussion. समझ में आ रहा है? So $10,000 at 82. So this price is known as what? Forward rate. We call it what? This price is known as what? Spot rate. This is known as what? Spot rate. After how many months? So this is known as 3-month forward rate. 3-month forward rate, because the settlement will be done after how many months? 3 months. Understood? Have you understood? Correct. This much you understood. Now this date came. This date came. So now it become 2 month forward rate. So guys, the price will change as per the market situation. So now the price suppose 82 था यहाँ पर 3 month forward rate. Now it become 2 month forward rate ना. How many month left? It become 2 month forward rate. And suppose it become 85. You will dance or you will cry. Dance. It become gain or loss. How much gain you should recognize? 3 rupees into what? 10,000. How much? 30,000. Give me. Give. 30,000 means you will enjoy na. So 30,000 will be transferred to which account? PL account. Understood? Correct. Now on this date it become 1 month forward rate. 1 month forward rate. Now it become 80. But you will dance, you will cry. Huh? You will cry. So from 85 it become what? Loss kitna? 5. 5 into what? 10,000 will be transferred to what? PL. On actual settlement date, this has become actual settlement date. Now the price become once again 86. So once again what? Gain how much? 6. This 6 rupees will be 6 into 10,000 will be transferred to what? PL. This is known as mark to market. Mark to market. This process is known as mark to market. Understood? So every quarter, every year end, we suppose this is 3. I have done monthly accounting, but suppose this become 31st March. So this much gain or loss will be transferred to 1 year. This much gain or loss will be transferred to another year. Understood? This is held for trading or held for hedging. This is held for trading or held for hedging. This held for trading means to earn short-term profit. So this process is known as that you purchase foreign currency for what purpose? For trading purpose. Trading purpose means there was no liability, there is no asset to hedge the risk. Understood? Now I will take one example of hedging. This you have understood? You want me to do that question also? Have you understood? Correct. Now what happens? Suppose just try to understand. Suppose you have done some foreign currency transaction. Already some transaction has been done. You purchase or sale in foreign currency. Suppose you have already purchased some machinery from foreign market and you are payable, means you need to pay $10,000 after 3 months. You purchase one machinery at $10,000. So already one journal entry you have done machinery account debit to what? Payable $10,000 as per spot rate, but you need to pay $10,000 after how many months? 3 months. Now you only say if you are expecting that dollar will appreciate, it is a gain or loss. If suppose right now spot rate is 80, but you are expecting that after 3 months it will become what? 85. So there is a gain or loss. So you need to pay higher amount. So right now it is 10,080, but after 3 months you need to pay 10,000 to 85 in Indian currency. So it is a risk or there is no risk. Risk. Whenever there is risk, what you will do? Hedging. Correct. Have you purchased bike? Have you purchased bike? No. Have you purchased mobile? Yes. Have you done insurance for that? Correct. But when you purchase, they ask for insurance or not? Yes. Why they have asked for insurance? In future it may damage. So insurance, if you have taken, that is also one type of hedging. Acha, whether your parent has taken your life insurance for you? No. Chalo, theek hai. Chalo. But it might happen they have taken, they have not informed you. Just ask them, because life insurance is very much common. Every parent will take. Correct now. It is very common. Normally we take. After 18, it might happen they will take for you. But they have taken their life insurance, quite possible. So you ask them whether papa, whether you have insured your life. So they will say yes. So there is also one hedging na. We are insuring our life. So whenever we risk in future, so we hedge ourselves right now. So I mean, what is the risk that we need to pay higher amount? So what we'll do right now, we'll enter into a contract with swap bank. to buy how much dollar? $10,000 at what? Suppose 85. So this is forward rate, this is spot rate. It means in any situation after 3 months, how much you need to pay? 85. Means can I say you have fixed your loss? Means in 3 months, if the price become 86, then also you need to pay how much? It will become 87, then also you need to pay how much? If it become 80, then also you need to pay how much? Means now you have fixed your loss because you want to minimize that uncertainty. You have just taken an insurance because your expectation was that it might become 90. Therefore, you have hedged yourself. Now, in any situation, you need to pay how much? 85. So, can you see this is known as premium? This is known as premium. Correct? How much premium? 5 into 10,000 means how much? 50,000. So, this become loss. This loss should be accounted in how many months? 3 months. So, this will be amortized in how many months? 3 months. Suppose this is 31st March. So, 2 months will be how much? 2 months will be 20,000 and sorry 50,000 into 2 by 3 will do, and for this 1 month will do 1 by 3, and that will be transferred to respective year as a loss. This is known as what? Hedging. Understood? Correct. Now the concept over. Two questions we have done. We have done similar question in class. We have done similar question in class. Just look into that 1 second. If you in doubt, 1 second, come back. Because these two questions are important because they will ask similar question in exam. Only you need to retain the concept and write down in exam. And now happy? Happy. Yes, sir. Any doubt in AS 28? Any other accounting standard? Whatever we have done? AS 11 questions you have done? AS 19 questions you have done? AS 17, so almost all questions you have done, but balance question you have tried AS 17? You have not done any question. It will be accumulated. AS 17 is segment reporting. Segment reporting also we have done now. Chalo. So now we'll come back to what? AS 28. So last class we have done impairment. We have understood that whenever there is an indicator for impairment, we'll perform impairment testing by estimating the recoverable amount. Now we have understood that recoverable amount is higher of NSP and VIU. NSP means what? Net selling price. VIU means what? Value in use. Correct. Now, how to estimate net selling price? This also we have discussed that expected selling price minus cost of disposal. Cost of disposal is nothing but incremental cost of disposing of the asset. However, cost of disposal will be always given in the question. However, keep in your mind that cost of disposal will not include finance cost and tax expenses. Finance cost and tax expenses. This might be important for MCQs. Correct? Understood. Now the question arises, sir, how to determine the selling price? The formula is what? Estimated selling price. Estimated selling price. So what AS 28 say that first preference will be given to estimated selling price. How to estimated selling price? To binding sale agreement in an arm's length transaction. Suppose you have done one contract to sell it. So whatever the sale price is given in that contract, that will become the estimated selling price. The first preference will be given to what? Binding sale agreement in an arm's length transaction. Arm's length transaction means normal transaction. Normal transaction means genuine transaction. Correct? Understood? Yes, sir. Second preference means suppose there is no such sale agreement. You have not entered into such binding sale agreement. So second preference will be given to current bid price in an active market. So we need to go to the market for that particular asset. Just find out what is the current price prevailing for the sale of such asset. Whatever current bid price prevailing for sale of such asset. Understood? That will be given a question. Only to memorize this word. Current bid price in active market. These all will be important for MCQs. Correct? Yes, sir. Then third preference means if suppose second preference is also not available, the last preference is what? Will take best information available as on the balance sheet date. So whatever best information available on balance sheet date, that will be taken as what? Estimated selling price. If that is also not available, means you are not able to estimate a selling price. If you are not able to estimate a selling price, ignore NSP, only take what? Value in use. Means then ignore Ignore, I don't. Ignore NSP and take value in use only. Understood? Correct. This point understood. Now coming to value in use. Once again in exam, normally they will give you the cash flow and the discount rate. So if they have given future cash flow and discount rate, can I say you can easily calculate what? Value in use. So from exam point is very important. But once again, how to estimate that cash flow, that also we need to understand. So what AS28 says that value in use, value in use is the present value of estimated future cash flow expected to arise from continuing use of the asset. So estimated future cash flow. So estimated future cash flow means what? Estimated future cash flow means estimated future cash inflow minus estimated future cash outflow which are incurred to generate what? Cash inflow, which are incurred to generate that cash inflow as per matching concept. Correct. So this will be given. You can do cash inflow minus cash outflow. Got this point? Yes, sir. Then also estimated residual price at the end of useful life. Last question, if you remember, we have added residual price also at the end of useful life. So residual price will be also added to find out what? Value in use. Correct. Present value, of course, you know how to calculate present value. Understood. Now what is a future cash flow should be estimated for the asset in current condition. So whatever future cash flow you are calculating, that should be based on current condition, not based on future condition. For example, right now the asset is damaged, but after 1 year, 2 year, or within 1 year, you'll do some capital expenditure, will do some repair, etc. So once you have done repair expenditure, the value might increase, but that is future condition or current condition? That is future condition. But you need to estimate future cash flow based on current condition. Means any future capital expenditure should not be considered to find out future cash flow to forward this calculation of value in use. So whatever estimation you are doing, that will be based on current condition of that asset. Correct. So estimate of future cash flow will exclude. This is important for MCQ. Correct. So estimate of future cash flow will exclude any future cash flow that are expected to arise from future restructuring. Can I say restructuring? You know where we have done restructuring in AS29. So whenever there is a restructuring, can I say our cash flow might change? Suppose you have decided to discontinue any business. So if you have decided to discontinue business, for an actual discontinuation, your future cash flow will be affected. Suppose we have 3 classrooms. I mean, right now we are generating cash flow from 3 classrooms. Now we have decided that 1 classroom will be closed down. So of course my future cash flow will decrease because 1 classroom we have closed down. Correct now. So what they are saying, future cash flow that are expected to arise from future restructuring to which entity is not yet committed. If committed, then we can consider, but if no commitment, we cannot consider. If you remember AS29, we used to recognize provision for restructuring only when the entity is committed. If there was no commitment, then we were not supposed to recognize any provision for restructuring as per AS29. Understood? Therefore, they are also saying we should not consider any future cash flow that are expected to arise from future restructuring to which entity is not yet committed. Means if the entity is committed, then we can consider. Correct? Yes, sir. Then future cash flow that are expected to arise from future capital expenditure. This too you have understood, because future capital expenditure will become future condition. So based on that, we should not estimate our future cash flow. Then so there will be never impairment loss. Correct now. So any future cash flow that are expected to arise from future capital expenditure should not be considered, even if entity is committed to it, understood? Just write down, this doubt will come. Even if entity is committed to it, understood this point? Correct. It means we have discussed 2 points. One is future restructuring, we are discussing value in use now. So we have discussed what? Future restructuring, and second is what? Future capital expenditure. Correct. Then entity is committed, no commitment, committed, no commitment, understood? Bata, which will be excluded, which will be included, whether this will be included, then excluded, then all are excluded. Means you have understood, everyone understood? बोल दे yes or no. Important for MCQ. 4 options they will give. This you have understood. I know you have done. I can take my time, Nare. Sure. Then, yes, sir. Now, it will also not include any cash flow from financing activities. So, can financing activity is nothing to do with operation. So, finance. Now you know about financing activity, operating activities, investing activities. I am not defining what is financing activities. So, it has nothing to do with what. Understood? So, cash flow from financing activities should not be considered. Similarly, any income tax received, received and payment will not be considered. Receipt means refund. Receipt means refund. So any income tax received or income tax payment will not be considered. Why? Because impairment loss is charged before tax. Therefore, we want cash flow before tax. Cash flow before tax. So we need to calculate cash flow before tax. So any income tax payment should not be deducted. Any income tax payment should not be deducted for estimating future cash flow. Understood? Now, sometime what happen? We receive some cash flow in foreign currency. For example, just try to understand. Everyone, I'll just give you 2 options. Just try to understand what I am saying. Suppose year 1, year 2, year 3. You receive $10,000, means we are receiving in dollar, na? In second year, $20,000. In $30,000. Correct? Now there are 2 options. Either first you convert by applying exchange rate, and this will become in INR. Na? INR means Indian rupees. INR. And then multiplied by present value factor. Are you able to understand what I am saying? And then calculate present value, and this will be value in use. This is first option. Second option is what? Year 1, year 2, year 3. $10,000 $20,000, $30,000, you'll multiply by present value factor, then you'll get present value in which currency? You'll get present value in dollar. So it means this become value in use in this amount will be in dollar, then multiplied by what? Exchange rate on 31st March means on the date of impairment testing, then get what? In amount in rupees, na? INR. Which one is more correct? First option is more correct or second option is more correct? How many are saying first? How many are saying second? Who is saying second? Who is saying first? First, second, first, second. Second, second. But sometimes second become first. The second is correct. Arey, just try. Just try. This is a future. Can we estimate future exchange rate? No. Can we estimate future exchange rate? What is the expected exchange rate of? Not possible, lah. So exchange rate, as I have given hint also, this is the exchange rate on the date of impairment testing. Means as on current date, because the present value means as on today, na. So as on today, we know exchange rate. So multiply by what? Exchange rate. So this is correct method. This is correct method. So that is same thing is given by AS28, but till now no question of this nature has been created. So first you write down this. Suppose they ask this question, you should know this. We don't have any question of this nature. We don't have any question of this nature, but we have AS11. So they can combine AS11 and AS28 or not? Correct now. So AS28 is first time introduced in CA internal syllabus. Means in the last syllabus AS20 was not there. AS28 was not there. Correct now. But we have AS11. So they can combine AS28 and AS11 or not? They can combine. So till now they have not given this question in your ICAI study matter, but they can create. If they can create, you can answer na. If you know this fact, just write down both and this kata laga, this tika laga. There is one song kata laga. You know now everything. Have you understood what I am saying? Correct. So of course, if the amount is given in foreign currency, if you know this, you can find out value in use. Then you want me to create one question or you have understood? Means if in exam they will create, you will be able to answer na. Because unnecessary why to create question because chances are rare. Believe me, chances are rare. Correct na. But I am teaching you because this is the point of AS28. I need to teach everything na. And because of MCQs, so now any question can be asked in MCQ. Correct. Chances are rare. They will not ask. Don't worry. So present value should be calculated in foreign currency. FC means what? Foreign currency. Okay. Which should be converted in reporting currency. Reporting currency means what? INR. By using exchange rate on the date of impairment. Very clearly mentioned. AS28 has clearly mentioned it. Yes, sir. Now discount rate from exam point of view, discount rate will be always given in the question. Correct. But what AS28 say that it should be pre-tax. Pre-tax means before tax. So it should not be after tax. In AS29 also we have done that only. Ki discount rate should be pre-tax, not after tax. Because impairment loss will be charged before tax. So it should be pre-tax, correct? Falling discount rate may be used. Maybe, so they have given some suggestion about which discount rate may be used. It can be weighted average cost of capital. So what is the meaning of it? Weighted average cost of capital? Refer FM. There is one chapter only, cost of capital. There is one chapter, cost of capital. So there is one chapter to calculate cost of capital. Correct now. You will understand what is the meaning of weighted average cost of capital. In accounts exam, they will not ask how to calculate. They will give the rate. But in MCQ, they may ask now which rate is preferable. Then you should know this. It may be weighted average cost of capital calculated by using CAPM. CAPM means what? Capital asset pricing model. Capital asset pricing model. This will be also done where? FM. Capital asset pricing model. I know everything, how to calculate this, but this is not my job. Capital asset pricing model. Capital asset pricing model. Correct? Yes, sir. Then if this cannot be calculated, second preference what? Incremental borrowing rate. Same thing we have done in lessee also, if you remember. So second preference what? Incremental borrowing rate. Understood? However, in exam for practical question, discount rate will be always given. Got this point? Whatever given, that will apply. So now you have understood how to estimate value in use also. Correct. Now coming to other important point. So what AS28 says that if you are estimating recoverable amount, and if one of the amount either NSP or VIU is higher than carrying amount, so there is no need to calculate other amount because there is no impairment loss. Because recoverable amount means what? Higher of both. Correct now. So if any of the two amount, that is net selling price of value in use, exceed carrying amount, determination of other amount is not required. Correct. Then what? Second point, what they want to say, if it is not possible to determine NSP, sometime what happens if we are not able to determine NSP, because can you say what is the net selling price of this camera? I don't know because I am not the seller of what? Camera. I am not a seller of camera now, so it is not possible for me to determine the net selling price of this camera. Then in that case they say take value in use as the recoverable amount because it is higher only. So if you are not able to estimate this, then take what? Value in use. Means from examination point of view, NSP is not given, then don't cry. If NSP is not given, then don't cry, then take what? Value in use. I hope you are understanding my emotions. Yes, sir. Now, sometimes the asset is held for disposal only. If asset is held for disposal, so which one will be more active? Because if asset is held for disposal, it will not be used in future. If it will not be used in future, there is no cash flow. It means in that case we should take what? Net selling price only. So if the asset is held for disposal, its net selling price may be taken as what? Recoverable amount, and there is no need to estimate what? Value in use because there is no cash flow only now. Understood? Correct. So these are some important point which is understood point. Then recognition of impairment loss for an individual asset. Correct. Now we have already understood in last class that for any asset for which we have opted revaluation model also will do impairment testing. That point you have understood? Correct. That point you have understood? So if the asset have not been revalued upward, means cost model, we can say cost model, then impairment loss will be charged to PL. Then impairment loss will be charged to PL. Understood? Then impairment loss should be recognized as an expense in profit and loss account immediately. What journal entry? Impairment loss to accumulated impairment loss or asset account. Understood? Or asset account. Correct. Then impairment loss will be charged to profit and loss account to impairment loss account. But if the asset has been revalued upward earlier, means which model? Revaluation model. It means we have revaluation surplus. It means we have revaluation surplus. Then impairment loss will first charged to the extent balance will be charged to PL. Understood? So impairment loss equal to revaluation reserve shall be set off against revaluation reserve and the balance, if any, shall be recognized as an expense in PL account. Journal entry what? Impairment loss to accumulated impairment loss. Then revaluation reserve account, profit and loss account to impairment loss. Understood? Correct. The last point note is given that already we have understood with the last question what we have done. Key subsequent depreciation will change because carrying amount will be revised. Okay, revised carrying amount should be depreciated during the remaining useful life. Correct. So depreciation for the coming year on the asset are recalculated on the basis of revised carrying amount, revised residual value, and revised remaining useful life of the asset. Understood? Correct. Yes, sir. चलेगा. चलो. Let us take some questions. फटाफट करें. Can we take all questions फटाफट? कर लेते practice. मेरा भी practice हो जाता. Question number 8. X Limited is having a plant carrying amount of which is 100 lakh on 31st March 2001. Is balance useful life is 5 years and residual value at the end of 5 years is 5 lakh. Estimate future cash flow from using the plant in the next 5 years. Given 50 lakh, 30 lakh, 30 lakh, 20 lakh, 20 lakh. Calculate value in use for the plant if the discount rate is 10%, and also calculate recoverable amount if the NSP is how much? 60 lakh. Can we do? We'll do properly, huh? Writing everything. Question number 8. First we'll do calculation of what? Calculation of value in use. We write down year, then future cash flow. We write down full future cash flow. Then present value factor at what rate? 10%, na? Then present value. So here they have given 31st March 2002, 31st March 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Can you give me cash flows? Fatafat. 50, 30, 30, 20, 20. Rupees in lakh. Done. Can you give me present value factor? 0.909, 826, 751, 683. Last बता दो. 620. Correct. Are we doing correct? Pakka? In the last class I said normally students याद तो आ जाता है, but dangerous, it's super dangerous. I know in exam तो पक्का you will forget, पक्का with flow you will forget. Easy question, ना? Easy question. Believe me, final student will also do same mistake. Even I am in exam hall with pressure, I can also do mistake. These are such point, and because of that reason, these are the point. Write down whatever mistake you have done. Write down in mistake book. These are the point. So if you revise that mistake before exam, now so that will be correct. That mistake can't be repeated. So mistake identify karo. Identify your mistakes. I know where you can do mistake. Therefore, sometime I also inform you. What is the 5 lakh? So plus 5 lakh. Once again, write down danger, danger, danger. Now can you give me present value? Calculated. बता. 45.45. अरे total बता रहे हो. I don't want this. I want total. You write down all, huh? 120 check कर आंसर करेक्ट ना in exam this privilege you don't have to check correct now point number B recoverable amount you want recoverable amount so it is higher of point number A value in use how much 121.92 lakhs point number B NSP in exam rate of full 60 therefore RA means recoverable amount is 121.92 now I need to calculate impairment loss also na so calculation of impairment loss so can you give me carrying amount as on which date 31st March 2001 how much 100 lakh and recoverable amount as on the same date there is no there is no impairment loss na this much we have done that impairment loss nil done चलेगा simple normally they will ask this question for 5 marks so 5 marks super easy correct yes sir. They have not calculated the impairment loss why I think they have not asked the impairment loss ठीक है चलो we have calculated 9 let us MRQ in this question MRQ G Limited acquired a machine on 1st April 2000 for 7 crore that had an estimated useful life of 7 years. The machine is depreciated on a straight line basis and does not carry any residual value. On 1st April 2004 means after how many years? First 4 years, then 3 years. Check karo after how many years? Huh? So it is what? 2001, 2002, 2003 up to 31st March 2001, 31st March 2002, 31st March 2003, 31st March 2004. How many years? But you all say 3 years. Why God has given finger? When I am doing, so you also be in that way. We become a hero. And we want to show heroic things. What happen if you take 3 years? 6-month gap. High chances 6-month gap. High chances. So you are losing 5 marks now. And normally aggregate 5 marks difference. Then so you will cry. Bolo. So this type of mistake should not be not accepted. And I can't help you in this type of mistake. First from the beginning I am saying don't be so much in hurry. You have given minimum time, but you should take that minimum time also na. You are trying to solve before that. Don't give me next time it should not be repeated. I am warning you from the first day. The carrying value of the machine was reassessed at 5.10 crore and the surplus arising out of revaluation being credited to revaluation reserve. Thank you very much. We know this point. Means this is asset which is revalued. Yes. For the year ended 31st March 2006. After how many years? After means revaluation after this date, 1st April 2004. 2 years. Now correct only. Condition indicating an impairment of the machine existed and the amount amount recoverable is only 79 lakh. So now they have given recoverable amount. Thank you very much. Correct. You are required to calculate a loss on impairment of the machine, and so how this loss is to be treated in the books of account of G Limited. G Limited had followed a policy of writing down the revaluation surplus by increased charge of depreciation resulting from revaluation. Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? This entire question is based on this point. This last point. Who will explain? Who will explain this point? Yes, you are saying depreciation will not be transferred to PL. You are saying depreciation will not be transferred to PL. It will be transferred to revaluation surplus. That additional depreciation. You are saying this. Means actually you have understood this sentence, but you have forgotten AS10. You have forgotten AS10. Actually, this point is based on AS10. If you remember AS10, we have done the treatment of revaluation surplus, and there were two options given. Either entire revaluation surplus will be transferred to revenue reserve on derecognition, correct? Or an amount equal to additional depreciation will be transferred from revaluation surplus, a reserve, to revenue reserve during its remaining useful life. They are saying they have availed second option. Means additional depreciation is never transferred to revaluation reserve. That will be transferred to PL only. But an amount equal to additional depreciation will be transferred from revaluation surplus to revenue reserve during its remaining useful life. So it means they have availed second option. Understood? Correct. Chalo. So this is actually as per AS10 right now. Refer AS10. Refer AS10. चलेगा? चलो. Now let us do. So if you have understood, can you help me in this question? Question 9 we are doing. So देखो, calculation of impairment loss. The initial cost is how much? On which date? 1st April 2001. It is 7 crore na? Rupees in crore. 2000. Thank you very much. 2000. Then can I say we'll come to now revaluation date to unit charge depreciation for how many year? For 4 year. It will be 7 minus 0 na? What is the residual value? Nil. Divide by useful life. Total useful life 7. Expired life is what? 4. What is the carrying amount as on 31st March 2004? 3 crore. Now, can I say we'll add revaluation gain? We'll add revaluation gain. So what is the fair value they have given? 5.1. It means 2.1. So this revaluation gain will be credited to what? Credited to revaluation surplus. So this will become revised carrying amount as on which date? 1/4/2004. Now impairment done after how many years? Once again we'll do accumulated depreciation for how many years? 2 years. It is 5.1 minus what? Nil. Divide by remaining useful life how much? 3 into what is equal to what? 2.4, 3.4. You are saying 3.4. So 3.4. So what is the carrying amount as on 31st March 2006? How much? 1.7. What is the recoverable amount as on this date? 0.79 na. What is the impairment loss? How much? 0.9. 0.90 means 90 lakh. 91 you are saying. Okay. Impairment loss we calculated. Correct. Now can I say you need to find out the balance of revaluation surplus? Because out of the first it will be adjusted with revaluation surplus and balance loss will be debited to what? PL. Correct. Write down. This is point number A, write down. Point number B. Calculation of balance of revaluation surplus as on 31st March 2006. So how much revaluation gain on which date? 1/4/2004. It is 2.1 less. So transfer to revenue reserve. So if you remember, I have given one shortcut for SLM. So it will be 2.1. What is the remaining useful life? 3 into 2. So this much will be transferred. It is 1.4. Correct now? What is the balance? Of revaluation surplus is 0.7. So this much will be adjusted. This much will be used for impairment loss. Correct now? Understood? Point number C. Accounting treatment for impairment loss. It is impairment loss account debit to accumulated impairment loss. How much? 0.91 na. Now second journal entry what bata? Revaluation surplus account debit. How much? And balance is how much? Profit and loss account debit how much? 0.21. To impairment loss how much? Easy or not? Easy but interesting. This question is interesting, therefore I have written MRQ. Means if they want to trouble you, they will ask this question. This also understood. चलेगा. Now I am reading the question. If I feel the question is because this is AS28, I am also teaching for the first time in CA Inter. CA final level I have taught, but this all question of CA Inter level I am doing for the first time. So I am reading all the question. If I find that you can do it by your own, I will give as a homework. चलेगा? Because this is the first time experience for me in CA Inter. So I have not read any question till now. Are you getting? Question number 10. X Limited purchased a PP 4 years ago 150 lakh. Understood? And depreciated at 10% per annum on straight line method. Okay. At the end of fourth year, it has revalued the asset at 75 lakh and has written off the loss on revaluation to PL account. However, on the date of revaluation, the market price is 67.50 lakh and is expected disposal costs are 3 lakh. What will treatment in respect of impairment loss on the basis of fair value for revaluation purpose is determined by market value and value in use is estimated at 60 lakh. Have you understood the question? But good question, isliye I will do. Question number 10. There is one point which I need to explain. Simple, but then also good question. Okay. What was date of acquisition? They have not given. So it is Y0. It was the cost price was how much? 150. Useful life. They have given rate of depreciation. Na? Rate of depreciation how much? 10%. Chalega? Yes, sir. It is SLM or RBM? It is given, na? SLM. Then after 4 years, at the end of 4th year, na? So Y4. What they have given, batao? Fair value they have given, na? Fair value is how much? 75. Then market price given how much? 67.5 on the same date, na? And cost of disposal how much? 3. And value in use how much? How much? 60 lakhs. Got this point? Yes, sir. Once again I read. It has revalued the asset at 75 lakh and has written off the loss on revaluation. Means there was some loss on revaluation to PL account because downward revaluation. However, on the date of revaluation, the market price is 67.5 lakh and expected disposal cost are 3 lakh. What will be treatment in respect of impairment loss on the basis of fair value? On the basis of fair value for revaluation purpose determined by market value and the value in use is estimated at 60 lakh. Please just try to understand. First thing, so we need to understand there are two things. One is downward revaluation and one is impairment. On the same date, so the question is that if we are doing impairment, will we do downward revaluation on the same date? First, one second. They have given information about downward revaluation and impairment on the same date. So my question is that because they have given about impairment, so will you do downward revaluation on the same date? Yes or no? Yes. Already we discussed in the last class. First revaluation, then what? Impairment. So revaluation is done at fair value or based on NSP? Fair value. So for revaluation, which information relevant? This information. But for impairment, this information relevant. Correct ना. तो market price whenever they give, this become expected sale price. Fair value and expected sale price are different. Expected sale price are different. Correct. तो चलो करते हैं. बताओ. We are doing initial cost. First, can you give me initial cost? 150 lakh. Less accumulated depreciation for how many years? So 150 into 10%. 3 years, 4 years. 4 years ना. So at the end of 4th year, after, before revaluation will charge depreciation or not? First depreciation, then what? Revaluation. Correct? Yes. So into 4, how much? How much? 60. So what is the carrying amount at year end 4? 90. Correct. Less revaluation loss, how much? Debited to what? So what was the revalued amount? So how much revaluation loss? 15. So this become revised carrying amount after revaluation. After revaluation. Correct. Understood. Now this will be compared with recoverable amount. So less recoverable amount, how much? You need to find out. Higher of what? Can you give me NSP is how much? It is 60. NSP. So higher of, I'm writing NSP how much? 64.5, and value is also given how much? 60. Whichever is higher, so we'll take 64.5. Therefore, what is impairment loss? Is also debited to what? PL, because there is no revaluation surplus. How much? How much? 10.5. Understood? Much only. और क्या करेंगे? They have also done that only. Correct. Good question. Interesting question. Write on once again MRP in this. These are good question for which थोड़ा सा understanding is required. Otherwise, in exam, you'll ignore downward revaluation. You'll be directly what? Impairment. Then also your total loss will come same. But one is revaluation loss, one is impairment loss. Both are different, na? If you directly compare with what? Suppose if you do 90 minus 64.5, what is the answer coming? 25.5, which is sum total of these two. But impairment loss is how much? So that will be wrong answer, na? Your answer will be wrong. Revaluation loss is 15 and impairment loss is 10.5. And account presentation is also different. Means impairment loss is deducted to find out carrying amount, but revaluation loss is adjusted with gross carrying amount. If you remember, AS10, revaluation gain or revaluation loss is adjusted with gross carrying amount. Yes or no? If you remember technique 1, technique 2, we have done technique 1, technique 2. So थोड़ा सा accounting presentation is also different. ठीक है, तो you can't say both are same. You can't say both are same. You got this point? So I will say good question. Write down MRQ. Then question 11. Goods, drugs and pharmaceutical acquired a sachet filing machine on 1st April 2001 for 60 lakh. Okay, sir. Okay, this till now we have not done. Leave it. Come to question number 12. Find out the following details. From the following details, find out impairment loss, treatment of impairment loss, current year depreciation. This two I think you can do. You can do homework. This is very easy. In this also upward revaluation done in last year given. It will first adjusted with what? revaluation surplus. You can do it. Do it. Okay. Question 30. This is sort of an interesting question. I like this question personally. A plant was acquired 15 years ago. Can you do the timeline? I'm reading, you just start doing timeline. Then after you draw, then I will draw. A plant was acquired 15 years ago at a cost of rupees 5 crore. Is accumulated depreciation on 31st March 2001. So this is the 31st March 2001 is year end. Is 4.15 crore. So you can find out carrying amount. 5 crore minus 4.15. Depreciation estimated for the financial year 1-2 is 25 lakh. Estimated NSP on 31st March 2001 was 30 lakh, which is expected to decline by 20% by the end of next financial year. Are you able to understand? Its value in use has been computed at 35 lakh as on 1st April 2001, which is expected to decrease by 30% by the end of financial year. Understood? Drawn timeline. Have you understood this para? Because all questions you will do, I will not do. Have you understood the first para? Suppose this question came in the exam and we are not done in class. So you will do na? Try by your own. Have you drawn? Draw it because I will read and then you will need to answer. Only do up to this, huh? Don't read A, B, C, D. Now, done. Okay. Now, assuming that other conditions for applicability of impairment accounting standard are satisfied, what should be the carrying amount of this plant on 31st March 2002? It means they have asked you what is the carrying amount as on 31st March 2002. Do it by your own. First, only I think one point you might do mistake if you overthink. If you overthink, then you might do mistake. And if you are not doing mistake, then okay, from exam point of view. Sometimes when you overthink, you do that mistake. ठीक है ना? I just want to find out whether you are doing that mistake or not. इसलिए I am not doing. You start doing. Calculate करो ना. Your choice. I want answer. A done. Done. Sure. Second point. How much will be the amount to write off for the financial year 31st March 2002? Write off means impairment loss. The write off means impairment loss. Then B. If A done, so B also done now. Point number 6. If the plant have been revalued 10 years ago and the current revaluation reserve against this plant were 12 lakh, how would your answer to question number 1 and 2 above will change? Means how would you answer 1 and 2? 1 and 2 means A and B. So they have given revaluation reserve. Point number D is so interesting. Can I read point number D? Can I proceed? Good. Point number D. If the value in use is 0 and the enterprise were required to incur a cost of rupees 2 lakh to dispose of the plant, what would be your response to question number 1 and 2 above? Means A and B above. Right? Value in is 0 and the enterprise were required to incur a cost of disposal of the plant. What would be your response to question 1 and 2 above? You don't answer me. Whatever you feel like. This question came in exam. You will react na. You understood the chapter. Now you react. Your answer might be correct or wrong. Correct. So will dance. Wrong. Then also will dance. Done everyone? Now let's see what you have done and what was supposed to be done. Whoever done mistake, you raise your hand. Yes sir, we have done mistake. Question number 30 na? First year is given what? 31st March. No, no, 31st March 2001 na? They have given the information of this and this 31st March 2002. What is the cost price? 5 crore. What is the accumulated depreciation? 15. Carrying amount? 85. What is the depreciation given for this year? 0.25. So what is the carrying amount? 0.60. Now they have given NSP how much here? 30 lakh. 0.30. Which will decline or increase? Decline by how much percentage? 20%. So this will become 0.24. Then value in use given how much? 0.05. Which will increase or decrease? Decrease by 30%. So this will become how much? 0.245. Correct. Understood. Now first question they have asked, find out the carrying amount. Of course after impairment loss, we will find out whichever is higher. We will find out whichever is higher na. What is the recoverable amount? 0.245. Correct. The carrying amount is how much? 0. What you are saying? 0.60. Recoverable amount 0.245. What is the impairment loss? 0.355. So they have asked carrying amount na first. The carrying amount is equal to 0.245. This is the first answer. First answer is carrying amount is 245. Everyone given this answer? you get 2 marks. After impairment loss, na? Of course, after impairment loss, why you are giving before impairment loss? Second, they have asked what is the amount of impairment loss to be charged to PL account. So 0.355. This also you have given correct. Now, they have said if there is a revaluation surplus, so out of 0.355, how much will be debited to revaluation surplus? 0. So how much will be debited to PL? They have given 14 lakh, na? 12 lakh. So 12 lakh. So how much will be debited to PL? 0.235. This will be debited to PL. Any doubt in 1, 2, 3? That is already done. If there is a revaluation surplus of this amount, means the revaluation was done in past year. Then what? Understood? I said if you overthink, you'll do mistake. Then in example, you'll think you'll do that wrong only. Don't overthink. In this question, if you overthink, you'll do mistake. How many have done exactly this? 1, 2, 3. Means you have done some mistake. Huh? But what mistake you have done? Huh? Third one. Third one में क्या था? This is total impairment loss. It is first adjusted with what? Revaluation surplus. How much given? 12 lakh. So balance how much left? That will be debited to what? PL account. Okay. Now, last one what they are saying. Last one also you have done na? They are saying value in use is what? 0. Correct. And NSP is what? NSP is what? So the NSP is what? Point number D I am asking. NSP is what? Point 22. Means you have done 0.24. 0.24 minus what? They have given 2 lakh cost of disposal. So you have done 0.2. This is in lakhs or crore? 2 lakh. So minus 2. In crore figures. It was 5 crore na. Achha. So this is 0.02. So you have done what? 0.22. Achha. Anyone have given different answer? All have done this only. Bolo, you have not done only. You want to do something? Now this only or something different? This only. But this is not correct. Don't do. Just try to understand. This is what? This is what? This is sale price or this is net selling price? This is NSP or sale price? NSP. So from this, so already what has been deducted? Cost of disposal. And again you are deducting what? Cost of disposal. Something is wrong there, na? Believe me, when I have done, when this question was actually that question which was also available when I was giving my exam. Means you can see they have not changed the question from last 20 years. And when I have done the question for the first time, I have also done the same mistake. So we all students are same. Means that time so I was also student, na? So we all students are same and we do common mistake. And anyone who can only decrease this common mistake, they will become serious. Understand what I am saying? Now, if I have explained this point and you have understood, and then again the same question is asked by someone, and again you are doing mistake, then worthless. 70% students do common mistake repeated basis. Even though I explained you, suppose I explain the class, but that too you forget. Then once again the same question will become new question for you now. People forget. अरे बोलना रे. So you need to understand what the mistake you can do, and you need to overcome that mistakes. Are you able to understand what I am saying? So same mistake I have done when I was student. Same mistake you are doing when you are student. Same question will come in exam, and if you can do correct, you get marks. Got this point? What I am saying? So what I want to say, when I was student, I was just like you. Every student are same only. The difference is only 5 to 10%. But a 10% difference will not make you less than 40% ना. Just try to understand. मेरी बात समझना what I am explaining. Very important point I am saying. Very important. Any intelligent student, we to say super intelligent. Super intelligent. There are some students we will be super intelligent, but we don't compete with them. उनको rank लाने दो. ठीक है ना? And most of us are average students. If you are below average, then don't come here. If you are considering you are below average, then the game is over now. So you pass a foundation, then also if you are saying if you are below average, that is not correct. So most of us are average students. Difference कितना है? Only 10% difference. ज़्यादा difference नहीं है. Understood? This is not much different. I can prove it. Can I say average students are capable of scoring 50%? So if you are saying 50% now, you know rank का कितना होता? Rank 1 marks is what you know. Is on an average 70%. Means rank 50 marks is what? 60%. The difference is only 10% now. You can also score rank. Only you need to put some extra effort. Some extra effort. That if you have believe in yourself, then only you will put that extra effort. If you do not believe in yourself, then you will not put extra effort. So why you have not scored rank? Because I have put my effort. I have given my effort. Rank नहीं आया, that is something my kismat. Understood now? But I have given my 100%. I have given my 100% that time. Means I was having a belief in myself that yes, I can score rank. हो गया, कुछ हुआ, चलो ठीक है. तो अभी तो your result has not came ना. You can't say that you can't score rank. So what I want to say now, you need to think about 50% तो आएगा ही. देखो 50% you are thinking नहीं आएगा, तो game is over ना. Yes or no? So yes, everyone you are in the classroom to score 50%. And if you are thinking that if you can't score 50%, then तो खत्म है. So I think everyone have that belief that you can score 50%. You score rank only 10% efficiency बढ़ा दो. Understood? And if you can increase your 20% efficiency, then the पक्का you will score rank. पक्का. ज़्यादा मेहनत करने तो बोल ही रहा नहीं. I'm not saying to increase by 100% or 50%. I'm saying only 20% extra effort you need to put. 20% extra effort, whatever effort you are putting right now. Whatever effort you are putting right now, you need to only increase by 20%. And if you increase by 20%, sure shot you can score rank. We are, we will do or we'll give our best to score rank. Rank will come or will not come, then will decide by God. Yes, I say. Understood now? नहीं आया ठीक है okay. But you should not regret that you have not tried for rank. Because rank you can easily score. Why you can easily score? One more point I am saying. See, if this is the CA inter student, 80% students are not studying as per ICAI requirement. Are not studying as per ICAI requirement. I'm saying studying, but not as per ICAI requirement. But you are giving which exam? ऐसे करो 80% आपको ज़्यादा लग रहा है तो 60% तो I can confirm that they are not studying as per ICAI requirement. So competition is only 40% and 40% and 25% result. It means the result is more than 50%. Competition means 40% is only in the competition. Out of that 40%, 25% will pass. The result is more than 50%. I am saying. Because this 60% will never pass. Will never pass. वो तो कंपटीशन में है ही नहीं ना. अरे बोलना रे. Are you able to understand what I am saying? It is as simple as that you are also playing cricket. You also know how to play cricket na. But whether you are taking training as per the requirement of IPL matches, you are out of the game na. You will think no, I am also in the competition to go into IPL. So whether you will be counted. But you know, you play gully cricket. I also play sometime gully cricket. Yes or no? But you will not be counted for that competition, na? It is as simple as that. So they have filled the application form, but it does not mean they will be counted. This you need to understand. Have faith. Result ko mat dekho. Result is very high if you think about only those students who are preparing as per ICAI requirement. Result is really high. So your competition is only among 40%. And out of 40%, you need to pass. And scoring rank is also very easy. Once you need to think, yes, I need to score rank. If you will not think, you will not try for that. But till now I have said you about scoring rank. I don't think, Now the time has changed. Therefore, I always motivate you step by step. Initially, I have never said score rank. But now the time has came that I should now motivate you to score rank so that if anyone has the ability to score rank, will think about rank. Because if you will not think about rank, you will never try for that. You will never try for that. Understood? Correct. So what you should do for scoring rank? अरे बोलना yes sir I can score rank. बोल. The rank student are among you only na. They are not intellectual people. They are hard-working people. And you are also hard-working. You are not hard-working. अरे बोलना you are not hard-working. Yes, you are hard-working. Morning you are coming in the classroom. It shows that you are hard-working. It shows you are hard-working. And every day you are coming in the classroom. It means you want to become CA. What you should do to score rank? It means if you want to score rank, so every day you should think about that scoring rank. Every day. So what you should do? Wherever you study, in a room you study, in a table you study, wherever you study, you have some wall just opposite your face. Suppose you study like this, you have some wall now. In that wall, just put one big stick some page writing that I want to score rank or I will score rank. Every day when you see that now, you will start studying. When you see that now, you will start studying. Acha, 20% more efficiency is required. Understood? So just write down on that wall that you want to score rank. You want to score rank. The target will be defined. The target should be on the face, means within your eyes, that your target should be always seen. If you see the target, then only you'll work. If you don't have any target, you'll not work. Understood? I am not forcing you. I am not forcing you. Those who want to score rank, they only do. Because if I'll force you, and by my force you speak that it is of it is not of any worth. So if you want to score rank, so I have just given one advice. Put one sticker in a piece of paper. Correct. Write down that I will score rank in this coming in your attempt made whatever attempt is yours. And whenever you study, you will see that automatically find that your efficiency has increased tremendously. Your efficiency has increased tremendously. I'll ask you after 5 days. Personally, I will ask you, not in classroom. You see that you have some divine power. Automatically, your efficiency will increase. Understood? One more thing I will say that I don't know whether you do or not, but this is all my personal suggestion. I'm not forcing you because I used to do the therefore I always say that you should also follow that. Correct now. You have your parents with you are living somewhere else. With you only na. This is your hometown only na. This is your hometown, then your parents will be with you. So always morning touch the feet of your parents. This is Hindu culture. Correct now. Or in every culture I think this is what. So what I am saying, touch the feet of your parents. It will give you full energy for the entire day. When you touch the feet now, automatically energy will come. Touch the feet. Don't do like this. Don't do like this, huh? Hello, yeah. Believe me, I'm a modern father, because I'm into this generation. But I have always asked my both sons to touch my feet whenever they go somewhere else. It does not mean they should know these things. They also touch my feet and go because I know the power of this. They don't realize right now, but it becomes habit, so they will do everything every time. So I'm just inculcating that habit in their life. Are you able to understand? So touch every day morning when you touch the feet of your both parents, others not require, correct? And then you feel the energy. Ultimately, a super energy will come within you. But you should touch with full respect. But it just come to this point. So it means it was NSP. कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गया? NSP. NSP. So it is NSP. So why you are deducting 1 second cost of disposal? Means can I say they want to say the cost of disposal is this and selling price is not determinable. It means NSP is what? Selling price is nil minus 0.02. It become minus 0.02. Understood? Means if you read the question it goes. If the value in use was 0 and the enterprise were required to incur a cost of 2 lakh, means they have not given sale price. Means if the sale price not given, it means it is 0 na. Sale price not given, it means it is 0. Suppose the sale price of this camera is 0, but then also you need to dismantle it. So there is some dismantling cost, removing cost is there. So there is some cost of disposal, but sale price is 0. It means NSP become what? Minus 0.2 lakh in lakhs. Understood? Correct? So I think now you have understood. So what they have given? Value in use is 0. NSP is minus 2 lakh. All figures are in lakhs in this. Recoverable amount becomes 0. Why? Because we'll take whichever is higher. then carrying amount will become 0 and entire carrying amount will be charged to profit and loss account. So entire 60 lakh will be charged to profit and loss account. Understood? Correct. Means 60 lakh was what? Carrying amount. Recoverable amount is what? Nil. So entire carrying amount become what? Impairment loss. Got this point? Super important question. This same question will come in exam. Same to same will come. That on MRK. You can see after that question over. Now whatever question I have given, that is from other sources. Whatever question I have given, that is from other sources. Okay. It means till now we have not come to this point and questions cover. Means ICAI has given only question up to this point, but there are two more topic in this chapter. There are two more topic in this chapter, but ICAI study material has not given any question based on that. Are you getting what I am saying? But they have given a small question related to this. Now the question is, should I teach this? Means all question of ICAI study practical question to be done. Theoretical questions are left. That I can explain like this only, but practical question related to this has not been given. The point is that, do you want me to teach this or should I delete it? Your choice. तो इतना बाकी है, पढ़ा दूँ? तो बोलना मत हाँ. Why you are taking so much? So I have just taken all the question to prove you that ICAI has not given question related to point number 5 and point number 6. So let us do it if you want. कर लेते हैं. It is high. I don't know your attempt, but in some attempt they will pakka ask this question because this is a topic na. So they will create a question. So for the first time they have inserted this topic in CA Enter. They have given lollipop question. Yes. The second topic is actually this was the first topic. Now we are coming to second topic. Impairment loss of CGU. CGU means what? Cash generating unit. So just try to understand what they want to say. If suppose I want to perform impairment testing of this camera. Now the question is that, can we estimate the cash flow to be generated from this camera? How much cash flow this camera will generate? Can you say this camera independently cannot generate any cash flow? This camera also requires support of this PC, also mic, also laptop, projector screen, AC, benches, building. Can you say all together is capable of generating cash flow? Na? So, there are many individual assets which are not capable of generating cash flow. It means we cannot estimate value in use of that particular asset. So if you cannot estimate value in use, how you can perform impairment testing? Means impairment testing of many individual assets cannot be done because they are not capable of generating cash flow independently. There are some individual assets which are capable of generating cash flow independently. For example, aeroplane single asset, मजा आ रहा है. Bus is also capable of generating what? Cash flow independently, na? Yes or no? Correct. So there are some assets which are individual assets and they are capable of generating cash flow independently. So we can perform impairment testing in that case. But how to perform impairment testing for this individual asset? So for that, what they said, you need to identify CGU. CGU means what? Cash generating unit. So what is the meaning of CGU? The CGU is the smallest group of assets. Smallest group of assets which are capable of generating cash flow independently without the use of other assets. Understood? So can I see this classroom, because I am providing services in this classroom. So because I am taking I am providing inter coaching in this classroom from the first day. Correct now? Are you? So can this become a smallest group of assets which is capable of generating cash flow from inter classes? Therefore, this become one CGU1 for my business. Correct. So one thing that you have understood, the cash generating unit is required for the purpose of impairment testing. for the purpose of impairment testing. What is the meaning of CGU? We will call it CGU. This is a popular term, CGU, cash generating unit. Is the smallest group of asset, or it can be single asset also, or single asset. It can be single asset also. Means smallest group of assets can be one asset also, na? For example, aeroplane. So aeroplane become one CGU. Am I right or not? So CGU is the smallest group of assets that generate cash inflow from continuing use that are largely independent of the cash inflow from other assets or group of assets. A group of assets. It means, can I say, suppose something happened to this camera. So it means we need to perform impairment testing. And if you cannot estimate the recoverable amount of this camera, it means we need to identify what? CGU. We need to identify CGU. So what AS28 says that if it is difficult to calculate the recoverable amount of individual asset, if it is difficult to estimate the recoverable amount of individual asset, because individual asset in itself without the help of, okay, they have given example. It is difficult to calculate the recoverable amount of individual asset because individual asset without the help of other assets cannot generate cash flow. This two you understood? This already have to. Now, what they want to do, third para, actually I was supposed to read third para. If there is any indication that an asset may be impaired, so if there is an indication that one asset may be impaired, the recoverable amount of such assets should be estimated for the individual asset. If it is not possible to estimate the recoverable amount of that individual asset, entities should determine the recoverable amount of CGU to which such asset belongs. So we need to find out the recoverable amount of CGU to which such asset belongs. Now only I need to inform you how to perform impairment testing of that CGU. Correct. I will take 3 examples. With that 3 examples you will understand. I will take how many examples? 3 examples. So first I will create example. Then I have given some example from other sources. You can do that question by your own. Correct. Chalo. I'll read the balance point after some time. First let us come to the example. We are doing cash generating unit. Let on example number 1. Okay. Example number 1. A Limited has following assets: building, A, B, C, carrying amount, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 8 lakh, machinery, PQRS, carrying amount, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, then furniture, TUB, 50,000, 80,000, 1 lakh, then intangible asset, XYZ, 1 lakh, 50,000, 80,000. So these are the assets of this company. Now we need to identify to which CGU it belongs. Which CGU it belongs? So that will be given by management only, means the information will be given the question only. It belongs to CGU 1, 2, 3. Means there are how many CGU? 3 CGU. Are we able to understand? This belongs to 1, this belongs to 2, this belongs to 1, this belongs to 3. Quite possible. This belongs to 1, 2, 3. This belongs to 1, 2, 2. Understood? Correct. Then can I say, I will give you recoverable amount of CGU. So CGU 1, 2, 3. So I need to give you value in use and NSP, and recoverable amount you can calculate whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. Understood what I am saying? Correct. So this I'll give you at the end, because for that I need to understand what is the carrying amount. You know, calculate impairment loss and revise carrying amount of assets. Understood? I'll give you this value, don't worry. Solution. But so first what we'll do, what they say, first find out, first step is what? First find out the carrying amount of CGU. So carrying amount of CGU means what? Carrying amount of asset of that CGU. It means carrying amount of CGU will be what? CGU1 will be this plus this plus this plus this plus this. Can you give me how much? The carrying amount of CGU. How much? This will be correct, huh? 14 lakh 50,000. But same thing you can do for 2. Can you give me carrying amount of CGU2? So 2 will be what? It will be this plus this plus this plus this and this. There are 2 intangible assets. How much? 12 lakh. Use calculator. Use calculator. Use calculator, Baba. Don't use your mind, because I know you have super mind. But then also I don't want to use that. Use calculator and give me. Huh? 11 lakh 30,000. Means you have super calculator also. I will calculate. Oh my God. One calculation you can't do. 6 lakh. देखो 6 lakh. Then 4 lakh. 10 lakh हो गया. Then 80,000. Then 50,000. Then 80,000. 12 lakh 10,000. अच्छा. अच्छा. ये बात. OMG. लिखा हुआ too. I have given circle also. Means where is your mind? Mind is with someone. What your mind is cooking? Vegetable. Which vegetable? Can you give me third one? 15 lakh. पक्का? अच्छा. Now, write down. Recoverable write down. Value in use is 10 lakh, 9 lakh, NSP also. Then for this write down 8 lakh, 13 lakh, and then write down 16 lakh and 14 lakh. Means can I say we are now finding out the cash flow to be generated from that CGU and then finding out present value, so that become value in use. So can you see if the cash flow is given individually, so you can discount it and you can find out value in use. However, they will not ask you to calculate this because this will become very long calculation. So normally in the exam they will give you value in use for the CGU only. Correct. The recoverable amount will be lower of these two, but the lower is how much? Acha, higher. Oh, acha, higher. The higher is how much? First one, 10 lakh. Second one, 13 lakh. Third one, 16 lakh. Understood? This information will be given in the question. Nothing to worry. Correct? Correct. So now what AS28 says, compare with the recoverable amount of CGU. The recoverable amount is how much? First one is 10 lakh. Second one is what? Third one is what? 16 lakh. Now can you give me the impairment loss? So what is the total impairment loss? Impairment loss is how much? 4,50,000. Then how much? Who is saying 1,10,000? Nil na. The recoverable amount is more than what? Carrying amount of impairment loss become nil. Nalayak. Okay. Now what AS28 says, that is impairment loss, this impairment loss will be allocated to each asset in the ratio of their carrying amount. In the ratio of their carrying amount. So can you see it need to be allocated? Allocation will allocate to what? So we have building A, but building A na? Building A. So building A, I am writing in a perfect way, so there is a kind of allocation. Allocation of impairment loss of CGU1. So can you give me all asset one by one first? First we have building A. What is the carrying amount of building A? 5 lakh. Then we have what? Machinery B. How much? C. How much? Then machinery R. How much? 5 lakh. Then furniture T. How much? 50,000. Then intangible asset X. How much? 1 lakh. So this become carrying amount. Can you give me the total of this? Already we calculated how much? 12 lakh. 14 lakh 50,000. 14 lakh 50,000. How much total impairment loss we have calculated? 4 lakh 50,000. So this will be allocated in this ratio. Can you allocate? 1 lakh 55,172. Then 93,108. Then 103. Then 155,172. 155,17. Then 3,103. Just check the total ones. Hmm? We should increase or decrease? Increase. So make it 5. Now okay. Last one to increase by 1. Decrease. So make it 3. Now okay. क्या कुछ भी बोलते हो मतलब इंक्रीज डिक्रीज माथा फोड़ लूं मैं अपना. Now how much I should write बता. कुछ भी मतलब तो मजाक चल रहा है. चल रिवाइज करेंगे व्हाट विल बी व्हाट आई विल कैलकुलेट 3 lakh then 206 897 is it na? Then same 82 83 69 964 done. Okay, for balance 68. Okay, this two you have understood. Okay, for balance this other asset, the carrying amount is only revised carrying amount because there is no impairment loss for other assets. So there is no need to calculate, or you can add on same as whatever is given. So I hope you understood very easy. The life is not so easy. This was I said I will take how many examples? 3 examples. First example you understood. First example you understood. Second example. But before that, just try to understand. Normally what happens? Suppose I have class room 1, room 2, room 3 and room 4. Correct? In this I give foundation class. In this I give inter class. In this I give final class. So this becomes CGU1, this becomes CGU2, this becomes CGU3 because they are capable of generating cash flow which is independent from other group of assets. Correct. But this is my admin office. My question to you all, whether in my admin office we generate any cash flow? No. So, but there are many assets and that asset also some has emotions. Correct now. They are not able to generate cash flow, but they support CGU to generate cash flow. That admin office is required. We support the CGU to generate cash flow. So what AS28 said that of course this asset will be also impaired. So what we'll do? This is known as corporate asset. We call it what? Corporate asset. And this corporate asset will be allocated to CGU1, CGU2 and CGU3 on some reasonable and consistent basis. Means on some reasonable basis. That ratio will be given in the question. So suppose they have given this corporate asset will be allocated in 1:2:3. So we can allocate and then perform this impairment testing as what we have done in previous question. Correct. Now, again what they say, this corporate asset are of two types, which can be allocated on reasonable basis, then so very good. But there are some corporate assets which cannot be allocated on some reasonable or consistent basis. There are some corporate assets which cannot be allocated, which cannot be allocated. Understood? So one example I will take for this, one example I will take for this. How to perform impairment testing. Have you understood what I am saying? One example I will take this for this, one example I will take for this. Chalega. So there are two type of corporate assets. one corporate asset which can be allocated on some reasonable basis, one corporate asset which cannot be allocated on some reasonable basis. That will be given in the question only. Which can be allotted, which cannot be allocated. For example, suppose we have some research and development department where we do research. So of course that is not a CGU because there we do only research and development. But can you say we research and development whatever we are doing, can we find out in which ratio it should be allocated? Because actually that is for what? On a general basis we are doing research and development. But we don't have any reasonable basis for allocation. So there may be some uh, some asset for which we do not have reasonable basis for allocation. So in that case, what we should do that we need to understand. This point you understood? Yes. Now, third is what goodwill. Goodwill. Now we have understood amalgamation chapter. We know that if suppose this is X limited and X limited has acquired in past they have already acquired Y limited. So because of that reason, there will be some goodwill in the balance sheet. There will be some goodwill in the balance sheet. The goodwill is also intangible assets. That also require impairment. That also require impairment. Understood? Yes or no? Are you able to understand what I am saying? Have you understood what I am saying? So suppose this company has done some past amalgamation, because of that reason some goodwill is appearing in the balance sheet. Okay, that goodwill also do not generate any cash flow by their own. Goodwill alone cannot generate any cash flow, na? So goodwill alone cannot generate any cash flow. So goodwill will support CGU. Goodwill also what? Will help CGU to generate cash flow. Understood? So what AS28 say that this goodwill is also of two types, which can be allocated to CGU or which cannot be allocated to CGU on some reasonable and consistent basis. Understood this point? Have you understood what I am saying? थोड़ा understood? थोड़ा. Correct. I'll take only two examples. In that two examples, you will understand everything. Okay. Let me example number 2. Following are the details of X Limited. Suppose they have CGU. Now I am providing directly the information CGU. CGU 1, 2, 3. And they have given carrying amount of CGU. Carrying amount is how much? You only give, you want 10 lakh, 10 lakh. Then 13 lakh, 8 lakh. Correct? Then we want recoverable amount. Recoverable amount also give higher than 9 lakh. Higher than the no increment loss na. Correct na? 9 lakh. Then 10 lakh. Then 9 lakh. Chalo. Understood? These all are rupees in lakhs. Entity has a corporate asset having carrying amount of rupees 5 lakh which can be allocated in the ratio of 2:1. Yeah, 2:1:2. 2:1:2. Don't ask me why. Entity has goodwill having carrying amount of rupees 2 lakh, which can be allocated in the ratio in the ratio to 3 lakh, 3 lakh, 1 is to 1 is to 1. Understood? Calculate impairment loss. Correct? Understood? Now, answer. Now, what AS28 says that whenever we have a corporate asset and and goodwill which can be allocated on reasonable basis, then we need to perform an impairment testing, and that process known as bottom up test. We call it what? Bottom up test. Bottom up test. Understood? Right down. We are performing right now what? Bottom up test. In the same way as we have done in the last example, write down CGU 1 to 3. Can you give me first carrying amount of CGU? Carrying amount of CGU already I have given 10 lakh. Write down full amount 10 lakh, 13 lakh, and 8 lakh. 8 lakh na? Then we'll add इसमें what? Allocated corporate asset. In which ratio? 2 is to 1 is to 2. Can you allocate 2 lakh, 1 lakh, and 2 lakh? Correct. Then in this we'll add what? Allocated goodwill. In which ratio? 1 is to 1 is to 1. This coming how much bata? 1 lakh, 1 lakh, and 1 lakh. Can you give me the total carrying amount after allocation? It becomes total carrying amount after allocation how much? This is 13 lakh. This is 15 lakh. And this is 11 lakh. Now we'll compare with what? Compare with what? Recoverable amount. Very easy na? Not complicated. Yeah. So first thing, so I don't know whether they will ask this question or not. Because they have not given this type of question in study matter here. ठीक है ना? ठीक है, तो ये फाइनल का पढ़ लो. This is a part of AS28. They should give question. Why they have not given, I don't know. Because first time they have introduced, so they don't want to give that question. But suddenly, at some point of time, they will incorporate this type of question. However, they have given small question for the meaning of CG. They have given. So I need to explain that also. ठीक है ना? Recoverable amount how much given बता? 9 lakh, 10 lakh, 9 lakh, 9 lakh, 10 lakh, 9 lakh. बताओ, what is the total impairment loss? Total impairment loss how much? 4 lakh, 5 lakh, and 2 lakh. Now, allocation. This so I think super easy. Allocation. Now what they say? This impairment loss will first allocate a goodwill. Because can you say, if you are saying that they are not able to perform, it means they do not have goodwill. So first impair entire goodwill and balance impairment loss will be allocated to other assets in the ratio of their carrying amount. Understood? What they are saying? Allocation right now. Allocation. First to goodwill. But how much goodwill CGU1? 1 lakh will be allocated. CGU2 1 lakh. CGU3 1 lakh. First goodwill will be impaired. In this 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, na? Correct. Now balance impairment loss. Balance is coming how much? Balance is 3 lakh, 4 lakh and 1 lakh. Now this impairment loss will be allocated to other assets including corporate assets in the ratio of their carrying amount. So you can see I have not given the bifurcation of these assets. It means we can assume CG consists of one asset only. So this become what the ratio. In this ratio will allocate. Correct now. So balance will be allocated to CGU and corporate asset. This will be allocated in which ratio? Batao? In which ratio? Ratio will be 10 is to 2. 10 is to 2 na? In the ratio of their carrying amount, allocate karo 10 is to 2. Understood? This 3 lakh will be allocated in the ratio of what? In the ratio of carrying amount of other assets. CGU, what is the carrying amount? 10 lakh. Corporate asset, whatever allocated, 2 lakh. So ratio become 10 is to 2. Allocate karo. 2 lakh 50,000 and 50,000. Correct? Then this will be allocated which is you only say 13 is to 1. Very good. But allocate this will be how much? 3 lakh 71,000 429 and 28571. This will be allocated in which ratio? 8 is to 2 na? 8 is to 2. So it is 80,000 and 20,000. Understood this point? You understood bottom up test? This is known as bottom up test. Bottom up test. Okay. What is it? The next is top down test. Top down. अभी आता है. This you have understood last exam can I take? I think understood na? Last exam. X Limited has given following information. CG A B C. Can you give me the carrying amount? 15. Huh? 15, 16, 17. 15, 16, 17 lakhs na? Then recoverable amount. Bata. In exam they may give also what? Value in use NSP. Then we'll take higher one. I'm directly giving recoverable amount. चलेगा? Bata how much? 12, 39, 14. क्या मजा आ रहा है इसको. ठीक है. Now X Limited has also following corporate asset, corporate asset X, carrying amount 1 lakh, allocated on the basis of relative ratio. Now to explain what is the meaning of Y, 2 lakh cannot be allocated. Goodwill of 1 lakh cannot be allocated. Now, they will also give you useful life of this issue. Suppose 20 year, 10 year, 10 year. Useful life in years. Understood? The relative ratio means what? Product of carrying amount and useful life. Product of carrying amount and useful life. Understood this point? Correct? Chalega? Now, here is a bottom up test you can do. In bottom up test, can I say will not include this and this because it cannot be allocated. Which cannot be allocated, they cannot be considered in bottom up test. So can I say you can do bottom up test, but before that, can you give me relative ratio? That is solution. The relative ratio. CSU 1 ABC na. Can you give me the carrying amount? 15, 69, 17. Useful life. Can you give me product? 300, 160, 170. This become the ratio. काम पर इसको दो, you should make it 6,30,000. ठीक है? Change the amount of X. Change the amount of X. Now, solution. First, we'll perform what? Perform bottom up test. Only for those assets which can be allocated. Means in this will not consider what? Those assets which cannot be allocated. Chalega? So it is as simple as we have done for what? Previous question. A, B, C. Can you give me the carrying amount of CGU? 15 lakh, 16 lakh and 17 lakh. Then can you give me allocated corporate asset X na? In which ratio? 30 is to 16 is to 17. Allocate करो. How much? 3 lakh. What you are saying? I have changed the amount because of this reason. I don't want decimal. The allocation so you can do now. The sum total of these is also 63. I don't know why I changed. Otherwise decimal में आता मजा नहीं आता. This become what? 18 lakh, 17 lakh 60,000, 18 lakh 70,000. Then you'll compare with what? This become total carrying amount. Compare with recoverable amount. How much? So speed you say 12 lakh, then 13 lakh, then 14 lakh. Can you give me impairment loss? First one is 6, then 4 lakh, 60,000, 4 lakh 70,000. But the allocation. First it will be allocated to what? But there is no goodwill. Allocation to what? CGU and corporate asset X now. This will be allocated in which ratio? How much? 15:3. 15:3. How much? 5 lakh and 1 lakh. That question बना है. Then this will be allocated in which ratio? 16:1.6. Allocate 4 lakh. How much? 4 lakh? 80,000. 18,181. Then check कर लो भाई यार. Everyone cross check. Don't rely on one person. Because I am creating question right now, so I don't have answer. And I have full faith on you that you use your calculator in super way. बताओ how much? 4 1818. बताओ difference 919. This will be allocated in which ratio? 17:1.7. 427,272. 42728. I think this too you have understood. Okay. Understood? Whatever test. Now what they say, whenever you have some asset which remain unallocated, you will perform top down test. Top down test. Perform top down test. Top down test means what? Will club all CGU and will take entire entity as one CGU. Will take entire entity as one CGU. Means we'll find out a carrying amount of all assets after first test, bottom up test. So in this we'll think as entity as total. Entity as total. So in this first, can you give me revised carrying amount of asset after BUT? But bottom up test, ठीक है? After but So it means we want CGU A, B, C. But what was the carrying amount of CGU A initially? It was 15 lakh. 15 lakh minus how much? Minus 5 lakh. So the revised carrying amount become how much? 10 lakh. This you understand what I am doing? CGB initial carrying amount was how much? 16 lakh minus how much? 4 lakh 18,181. What is the revised carrying amount? 16 lakh minus 418,181. It is 11 lakh 81,819. Then see, initial carrying amount is 17 lakh minus 4 lakh 27,272. It is 17 lakh minus 427,272. This 12 lakh 72,728. Then we have one corporate asset X. What was the initial carrying amount? Initial carrying amount how much? 6 lakh 30,000. 6 lakh 30,000 na? Now impairment loss will be sum total of these three. 1, 2, 3. 3 time impaired na? This plus. So you can do minus 1 lakh. Then minus how much? 41,819 minus 42,728. Can you give me? And this is why minus 3 times. Because it consists of all impairment of PG 1, 2, 3. Correct? Understood this point? How much? 4 lakh 453. Correct. Then in this we'll add that two asset also. Corporate asset Y. How much carrying amount? 2 lakh. And we have goodwill also. Goodwill how much? Now can you give me the total carrying amount? So this becomes total carrying amount of entity X Limited. How much? $42 lakhs. 42 lakh. Now we'll compare with what? Recoverable amount of entity, which will be given the question. Which will be given the question. Are you getting? Which will be given the question. So let us write down in the question. Let us in question only. Recoverable amount of entity. Yeah, look. Entity as a whole. Recoverable amount is 40 lakh. 40 lakh. A new information I have added. This will be given the question. Entity as a whole recoverable amount is 40 lakh. So now you'll compare with what? 40 lakh. So what is the impairment loss in this test? You only say it should be allocated to what? Okay, it will first allocated to what? First to goodwill to the extent of how much? 1 lakh. Balance should be allocated to what? Balance to corporate asset what? Y only? Only Y na? 1 lakh. This is the rule. So you can see all asset has been impaired. All asset has been impaired. Good doubt coming to you. But first, have you understood this? So can you say in top-down test, whatever impairment loss calculated will first allocate goodwill, if any. balance impairment loss will be allocated those corporate assets which remain unallocated in the first test in the ratio of their carrying amount. But there was only one asset only. Correct. Now one good doubt asked, this doubt is genuine only. Suppose this is 42 lakh and suppose sir this is suppose sir 37 lakh, then it is coming how much? 5 lakh. So we can allocate only 1 lakh and balance is what? 4 lakh. But what is the carrying amount of that corporate asset? 2 lakh. Then what will do? It is impossible, practically impossible. You want proof for that? Just try to understand. When you join CG1, CG2 and CG3, the recoverable amount of all these three CGU together will be equal to their CGU or less than that recoverable amount or more than. Means what is the individual carrying amount? Individual recover this now. So my question to you, if you join all these together, so recoverable amount should be equal to sum total of this, or should be equal to less than this sum total or more than this sum total. Either equal to or more than, it cannot be less than. Yes or no? Means if you join some, okay, there will be some synergy benefit also. If one business join with other business, there will be some synergy benefit. Because of that reason, recoverable amount can be higher, but it cannot be lower. But let us be conservative. Being conservative, can you say we should take lower of these two? Which is this only? Coming how much? Batao? 39 lakh. It means, can I say, okay, this is the minimum recoverable amount of entity as a whole. This recoverable amount will be either 39 lakh or more than 39 lakh. It cannot be less than 39 lakh. अरे बोल दे yes or no? It cannot be less than 39 lakh ना. बोलना रे. Means if in exam they have given recoverable amount less than 39 lakh, means they don't know how to draft the question. Simply speaking, they don't know anything ना. अरे बोलना रे. It means the minimum recoverable amount can be 39 lakh. Means maximum impairment loss can be equal to 3 lakh, which is equal to 1 lakh plus what? 2 lakh. Means there cannot be any what? Surplus. There cannot be any surplus. Your doubt over? Your doubt over? Yes sir. चलो ठीक है, but important नहीं है, because in exam तो they will give 39 lakh or more than 39 lakh. Understood? My objective done with these three examples. Is simple or not? It's simple, it's not complicated. It's simple, it's not complicated. Now let us read what they have given. Come to यहाँ से start reading from this. Step for measurement and recognition of impairment loss. Step number 1, identification of CGU to which asset belongs. I have given example number 1 where we have identified CGU to which asset belong, which asset will go to which CGU. Determine the future cash inflow for CGU which is called value in use. This will be given the question. Determine the NSP if possible. This will be also given the question. Determine the recoverable amount of CGU which is higher of this and this. This we can find out. Determine the carrying amount of CGU which is equal to the carrying amount of all assets of CGU. This we can find out. Determine the impairment loss. Means step 5 minus step 4. The impairment loss will be allocated among various assets of CGU in the ratio of their carrying amount. Understood? This is example number 1. Example number 1. Correct. Can we come to example number 2? Yes. Impairment of goodwill and corporate asset. Oh, acha. This is important for MCQ. Pakka they will ask question in MCQ. They may not ask practical question, but they will pakka ask for goodwill and corporate asset MCQ. And you can answer that MCQ only when you have understood practical question. Because you can't retain na. If you know practical, then only you can write MCQs na. So they may create MCQ based on this. Are you able to understand? Yes, sir. Case 1. If goodwill and corporate asset can be allocated, impairment loss is calculated by applying which approach? BUT, bottom up test. correct? But identify CGU to asset belong, you understood? Point number two, allocate the carrying amount of goodwill and or means either only goodwill or corporate asset. It can be only goodwill or only corporate asset or both on reasonable basis to CGU. This reasonable basis will be given in the question. Thank you very much. Correct. Determine the carrying amount of CGU which is equal to the carrying amount of all assets CGU plus allocated amount of goodwill and corporate asset is missing and corporate asset. Correct. Correct it na. Corporate asset. Determine the recoverable amount of CGU. It will be given in the question as I have given. Compute the recoverable amount of such CGU with compare the recoverable amount CGU with their carrying amount, and any difference will be identified as what? Impairment loss. Allocate the impairment loss as under first to goodwill, allocated to CGU, understood? Correct. Then to other asset of CGU including what? Corporate asset of CGU in the ratio of their carrying amount. This is important for MCQ. Pakka they will ask this question in MCQ. How to allocate? They will give 3-4 options. In bottom up test, impairment loss is allocated in this way. I think that type of question is given also. I think I forgot. Because I have also some short term memory loss. देखो दिया हुआ है, देखो. In case of corporate asset, in case of goodwill, oh, means whatever I am teaching that is in your ICAI study material. They have not given practical question, but as per my expectation, they can create MCQ also. Yes or no? Correct. So, means actually they are doing as per my expectation only. Understood? Now, so now you can answer now. If you have done that 3 question, now you can retain. But if you do memorization, you will forget. Now, case number 2 is what, bata? If goodwill and corporate asset cannot be allocated, then impairment loss is calculated by applying first what? Bottom up, then what? Top down. First bottom up test, then top down test. Correct? So we are performing 2 tests then. Bottom up test, as we have done in previous case, apply same thing na. 1, 2, 3, 4, read by your own. Top down. Okay, so क्या पढ़ना? It is same na? Same only. Correct. Then after step number 4, step number 5. Calculate a revised carrying amount of all assets after bottom up test. Determine the carrying amount of the entity as a whole, as a total, which is equal to the revised carrying amount of all assets plus carrying amount of goodwill or corporate assets which are not allocated earlier. Correct. Then determine the recoverable amount of entity as a whole. Then calculate impairment loss by comparing 6 and 7. Correct. Allocate the impairment loss as under first goodwill not allocated earlier. Then to corporate asset not allocated earlier in the ratio of their carrying amount. Understood? So this is example number 3. This is example number 2. So I have taken 3 examples to explain this. My job done. My job done. So that 3 example, my job done. So I am assuming that you have understood that 3 examples. And that is easy also. Now there are some more point about CGU. Let us complete that. Correct. Now, one question arises: how to identify CGU? So they have given some 2 or 3 small questions. So in that case, they will say identify CGU. So what they say that first point is very important point. If any active market exists for the output produced by an asset or group of assets, then it will be identified as CGU even if all the outputs are used internally. I think you have not understood. Let me explain. Let me explain. Suppose we have one. Now you know about segment also, so I can explain this segment. Segments, you know. So suppose we have segment A and segment B. Segment A and segment B. So segment A will be having some group of assets. Segment B will be having some group of assets. Now this segment A is producing unit X. Correct. Now this unit X has an active market outside. Has an active market outside. Means it can be this X can be sold outside the company also. But as per the policy of this company, this segment A transfer entire goods to segment B, and segment B will use this X to produce what? Unit Y. And this is what I am saying. Means unit X will become raw material for producing unit Y. Suppose they are producing plastic. The plastic is transferred to B, and from that plastic they are producing some other product. Understand what I am saying? Correct. Now this unit Y is sold in outside market. Outside market. It means actually A is not generating any cash flow. B is only generating cash flow as per companies. But can I say A is not generating cash flow, but A is capable of generating or not? Because they have what? Active market. So what AS28 says that because A is producing unit X and unit X has an active market, then A is capable of generating cash flow. Therefore, A will be considered as a separate CGU and B will be considered as separate CGU, even though all the products of A are internally transferred. Even though all the units of A are internally transferred, means actually they are not generating cash flow, but they are capable of generating cash flow because their output has what? Active market. Understood? But if I say this does not have an active market, suppose this does not have an active market, then A plus B together will become what? One CGU. Then A plus B together will become one CGU. Understood this point? Have you understood this point? I hope now you'll appreciate this point. Once again I read. If an active market exists for the output produced by an asset or group of assets, shall be identified as CGU even if all the outputs are used internally. Now understood this para? I think one question they have given. Let me find out that question. No, not given. Chalo, see. Not given. Okay. But you have understood? Now, second. Sometime aggregation of CGU, next point. This is a separate point, this is a separate point. Sometime aggregation of CGU become necessary even if even if cash flows from each CGU can be determined independently if each of the CGU cannot be disposed of separately. I'll give an example. Suppose there is one company and company has purchased some route permit. You know route permit? What is route permit? It is a license, intangible asset license to operate some vehicle in a particular route. For example, bus. So they are operating bus in this particular route. This is route A, route B, route C, route D. You know this all bus, whatever is used for transportation, they have a particular route. They will not change that route from this place to this place. Now if you ask her, I want to go there, can you know, like, चलो go देते ऐसा तो ना है. So they will not go na. Correct na. So they have some specific route. So if you want to run any bus in that particular route we will take permission from the authorized department, whatever is there. So they will give you some license, intangible license is intangible asset for operating some bus in that particular route. So that license is whatever amount you have paid to purchase this route permit will become your intangible asset. Correct? Now this is one route, this is one route, this is one route, this is one route. So can you see you can easily find out cash flow for this route, which is independent from this route, which is independent from this route, which is independent from this route. So can these four routes become four separate CGU because they are capable of generating cash flow which is independent from other assets. It means there are four CGU, but as per the license contract, means as per the contractual agreement, this route permit cannot be transferred individually to any other party. Means if you want to transfer this route permit to some other party, so entire route permit need to be transferred. Means this route permit cannot be disposed of separately. Means you can't determine NSP of each route separately. To find out NSP, you need to club them or not, and therefore this is one CGU. And therefore, even though you can determine cash flow independently, but it cannot be disposed of separately. Therefore, it becomes one CGU. Understood? Correct now. This type of question can be asked. I don't know whether it will be asked or not, but I have just informed you what they have given. Sometime aggregation of CGU become necessary even if cash flow from each CGU can be determined independently if each CGU cannot be disposed of separately, if it cannot be sold separately. Understood? Correct? Understood? Then next point, cash generating unit should be identified consistently from one period to another period for the same asset or type of asset unless a change is justified. Means whatever CGU you have identified in 1 year, that should be identified in all the year unless the change is justified. Means change if you want to do, it should be justified. Correct? Means it should be consistently from one period to another period. Last point for this topic. For this they have given one question. The carrying amount of CGU. Now carrying amount we calculate CGU. Now the question is this carrying amount should be asset or it should be asset minus liability. Understood the question? I mean right now all question we have taken asset only. We have not taken any liability. But this CGU is only asset. It is asset minus liability. So what they want to say? It includes only the carrying amount of those assets which can be attributed directly or allocated on reasonable or consistent basis to CGU. Means it should include only what? Carrying amount of asset. Means it should not include what? Carrying amount of liability. Does not include the carrying amount of any recognized liability. Means we should not include any carrying amount of recognized liability. Means CGU should consist of only asset for the purpose of impairment testing. For the purpose of impairment testing, CGU consists of only asset, not any liability. Correct? So does not include the carrying amount. It does mean what? Does not include means what? This English is a very funny language. Just try to understand. If suppose I have an asset 1 lakh, 10 lakh, and liability is 2 lakh. Correct? 8 lakh. My question to you all, for calculating 8 lakh, liability is included or not included? Included, na? Not included. But you have done minus, huh? Is it included or excluded? Confusion. English is a funny language. English is a funny language. Means what I should say? For calculating 8 lakh, liability is included or excluded? What is correct? Included or excluded? Which one is correct? Excluded. No. Your English is not correct. Your English is Indian English. You know Indian English. You don't know actual English. I said, I am also like you, huh? Means when I have read for the first time, I cha, ye baat, correct now. So I am also like you. I am not exception. But just include means what? You have considered. Exclude means you have not considered. So you have considered or not? So to calculate 8 lakh liability has been included. If you are saying for calculating 8 lakh liability has been excluded, means it has not been considered, it has not been deducted. So it means it has been included in calculation of net asset. Right. Now you will understand what they want to say. What they want to say is the carrying amount of CG does not include means excluded means will not deduct na. It means do not deduct, deduct, will not deduct na. Now understand. Does not include a carrying amount of any recognized liability unless, unless, unless I need to explain. Unless what you are writing. This law, when you read act na, this law means the law, Companies Act, the interpretation part, each word, very interesting. So if you learn law from the not from the point of exam, only from the point of learning, it is very interesting. If you only focus on exam na, law we think array, it is so theoretical subject. But you think from understanding point, it is very interesting. Similarly, income tax, very interesting because that is all law language. So this AS is also law language. This AS is also part of Companies Act only, na? It has been drafted in that language only. But I have simplified it for understanding. So I have done the simplification. Because we are not here to become lawyer now, we are here to become accountant. Correct. So my job is not to teach you law. My job is to teach about accounting. But law teacher need to say everything. And I think that only you have done. Correct now? Now, does not include a carrying amount of any recognized liability unless the recoverable amount of CU cannot be determined without consideration of that liability. Understand this? First, they what they say कि liability should not be considered for calculating the carrying amount of CU. Means we should not deduct any liability from the asset to find out the carrying amount of CU. Means carrying amount of CU consists only of assets. This much you understand? Unless they have given some proviso. Unless recoverable amount cannot be determined without considering that liability. Means for determination of recoverable amount, you have considered that liability. So if for determination of recoverable amount, you have considered that liability, it means for determination of carrying amount, you should consider that liability, then deduct. Let me take one question. Only there is one case in which we will take. Only there is one case in which we will deduct liability. And that example, that question has been given in your book. This question has been given and they are not given. Other question, is that question? Yeah. Question 6. A company operate a mine. This question is your ICAI study matrix question. Is one question to they have given. The company operate a mine in a country where legislation requires the owner must restore the site on completion of its mining operation. Restore. You know, restore. Which AS is applicable? AS 29. And AS 29 is correct. And AS, चलो अभी आगे समझ में आएगा. The cost of restoration include the replacement of overburden which must be removed before mining operation commence. A provision for the cost to replace the overburden was recognized as soon as overburden was removed. The amount provided was recognized as a part of cost of mine. Why? As per AS10. Remember AS10, decommissioning, restoration and similar liability. Yes, sir. DRSL. If you have forgotten, then I will also die. थोड़ा थोड़ा याद है ना? Yes sir. It means can I say this cost, this estimated cost we have calculated present value as per present value, and that present value has been capitalized in the cost of mining. So it means we have done one generating mining account debit to provision for DRSF, mining account debit to provision, correct? And provision is a liability. Provision is a liability, and is being depreciated over the mine useful life. The carrying amount of provision for restoration cost is 50 lakh, which is equal to the present value of restoration cost. Present value, remember? The enterprise is testing mine for impairment. Now mine is tested for impairment. The CGU for the mine is the mine as a whole. Well, the mine itself is one CGU because they are capable of generating what? Cash flow. The entity has received various offers to buy the mine at a price of around 80 lakh. This is what? Not this is selling price, expected selling price. Correct. So the enterprise has received various offers to buy the mine at a price of around 80 lakh. The price encompasses the fact that buyer will take over the obligation to restore the burden. This price has been determined in such a way that the obligation to restore will be also transferred to the party who will purchase this mine. Correct. Disposal cost for the mine are negligible, ignored. The value new of the mine is approximately 1 crore 20 lakh excluding restoration cost, and the carrying amount of the mine is 1 crore. Calculate impairment loss. My question to you on this 80 lakh, whether to calculate 80 lakh, this restoration cost has been considered or has not been considered. Obligation to restore. Obligation to restore. Please just try to understand. Suppose I'm just giving one example. I'm just giving one example. Suppose this is a mobile. This is a mobile. And the fair value of this mobile is 1 lakh. Means I can sell at 1 lakh and you can buy at 1 lakh. Now what I am saying, if you want to buy this, if you want to buy this, I have taken one loan to purchase this mobile. You need to pay that loan also. And the loan amount is 20,000. Are you getting? Means if you want to buy this mobile, buy. The fair value is 1 lakh. But you need to also pay my one liability because I have taken that loan to purchase this mobile, and the outstanding loan is what? 20,000. But how much you pay? 80,000. It means 80,000 is nothing but selling price of this what? Mobile, and that has been calculated by considering that liability. Means recoverable amount has been determined by considering or without considering that liability. Considering, it means carrying amount of CGU should be calculated by considering or without considering. Considering. Understood. It means in this case, but what is NSP? 80 lakh. What is the value in use? Value in use. It is given 1 crore 20 lakh excluding or including. Excluding means has not been considered, but that will be also including what? Restoration cost. What is the present value of restoration cost? 50 lakh. It means your value in use will be how much? 1 crore 20 lakh minus what? Minus na? It become what? 70 lakh. So recoverable amount will be how much? 80 lakh. Carrying amount will be how much? 1 crore. But from this 1 crore should be minus liability. Yes. How much liability? 50 lakh. Then what is the carrying amount? 50 lakh. How much impairment loss? Impairment loss is 30 lakh. वाह 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 वाह, मजा आ रहा है. 30 लाख लिख दो. लिख दो 30 लाख. नील. नील ना. Understood. This question is given. This question is given. One small question has been given. Correct. This is question number 6. Question number 6. Same question is given in CA final level. Means I teach the same to same CA final. and this is I have to not create it. They have given in your material. Same to same question is given in CA final, and it is same thing. You pass CA and I believe you CA final is very easy. CA inter को छोड़ दो, correct? You can see same answer is given. Just read it, correct? Done. बहुत हो गया इसके लिए. But one more point is left. That is the reversal of impairment loss. The last point. For that also no question has been given. So what you can do? What you can do? I'll just give you. But you are not doing any questions by your own. Do na Ray, please na. I'm requesting Ray. How what I should do? Bata that you should do. I should die. Can you do two questions? That so that you can understand. Yes, you have understood. I'm giving you some good questions. Look, question number 16. Question number 15. And one this question. This question you can do by your own now. This question I have taken from CA final. Okay, I am informing you. CA final, and in CA final it was asked for 10 marks. Question number 19. Question 19. Okay. Don't see solution, you can do it. This is based on example number 3. This is based on bottom up and top down. Okay. You will be able to do, correct? Acha. If nothing is one point I need to inform. They have given carrying amount of X can be allocated on reasonable basis, but they have not given ratio. So the best ratio is relative ratio because they have given what? Remaining useful life. The best ratio is what? Relative ratio. This I'll give a note, don't worry. The best ratio if question is silent is what? Relative ratio. Chalega? So because question was silent, use what? Relative ratio. This I have not informed you, no? But right. Best ratio is relative ratio. Then you can do it. Okay? So 3 question only do. Then reversal only I'll do from exam point of view because I know that much so they will not go in exam. PGU they can ask. Okay. So tomorrow we'll complete this and we'll start a new. Yes. You want small or you want interesting? Small will be for a boring and interesting will be for a big. You have 2 more interesting. One is AS20, one is AS22. AS20 is earning per share and AS22 is income tax. Income tax. Income tax is, I will not teach income tax. Tax expense, how to calculate tax expense. That too thoda sa it will take time. Balance are small here. Okay. Chalo. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining day.